So, Habiba, we met on Mark Jared's platform, and I understand that you're a child genius, that you came up with a blockchain at the age of 13 and you're 20 now. And you have this massive vision to help people who have diabetes, and you want to create a call center, raise some money, and help people who have problems with their joint pains in their old ages and provide braces for them. Is that about it?
Yes, exactly. It's about that.
We touched on the call center thing. And I
Mm-hmm.
mentioned I mentioned some of the kind of issues that I've had when people have called me with an Indian accent saying, "My name is Mike." So with that kind of
Mm-hmm.
an accent telling me, well, I wasn't buying it. Yeah. So you just said that you wouldn't want to use your actual name, but you would want to use a name like Andriana or something. Yeah. And just kind of maybe a bit more neutral. And you're kind of like, what kind of experiences have you had when you've been calling places like UK, Europe? Which countries do you find are more receptive towards India? Do you want to start with that question?
Um, Basically, what problems I find when I was working in call center, we basically wants to help people. We are there to help them for 9 hours, and what we face during the call, the Americans people said that stop calling me. You are calling me from India. Just stop calling me, otherwise I will call the police. So one thing it was in my mind from the day one day, then the end of the day, when I left the job, that why they are doing so. I didn't recognize what they did wrong, what India people did wrong with the Americans, that they hate them, and they are like, why are you calling us? Even if you are giving something free products, we don't want to buy from you. We don't need that from you, because they hate people that much that even they don't need that free products. So one thing it was not clear in my mind, that did there something wrong, or maybe I was thinking very much, like, overthinking. So maybe you can answer.
Okay, I'll actually, I think I've got a little bit of a twist on that, and it's a little bit of a backstory. Um, so first of all, they call it cold calling for starters. It's contacting somebody you don't know anything about. People are often very busy. Okay, they've had a long day, so they come home. They've done all their socializing outside most of the time. We're not talking about COVID. Just, imagine you're stuck in traffic, you're rushing around, you're picking up your kids, you're coming home, you're trying to cook dinner, you're trying to get the kids to do homework. The elderly, they start to get a little bit suspicious because there's a lot of scamming going along. Okay, people get hooked into talking to somebody, they like them, they trust them, and eventually it's like the begging bowl comes out, give me money. There's a lot of manipulators around. Okay, do you know what actually works, Habiba? First of all, it's not going from A to Z. What do I mean by that? It's picking up the phone, going, "My name is so and so. I've got this. I want to sell it to you. I can help you with this." That's going A to Z, right? We have to be clever about it. Now, I could tell you a story which is possibly going to blow your mind a little bit, and it's a little bit naughty. When I was 19 or 20, actually, I used to work for a financial advisor company called General Portfolio, GAN. Okay, it was based in France. They were linked to the top 1% Cannes. I don't know if you've heard of the film festival. That's where they used to have all their celebrations. So the top salesperson used to, get an award to go there, and that's where they did all their big events annually. And we were selling
Mhm.
life insurance, we were selling life cover, mortgage, cost reduction, all sorts of insurances, pensions, you name it. Okay. So it's almost like a health insurance, if you like, whether you're alive or whether you're dead. And I had just started out. I didn't have any contacts. We'd just moved to England. So I didn't have many friends and family either. Most people were starting in this job in their 40s. They already had a big circle of friends and they're just checking up on their friends. So they got going pretty quickly and the word spread. Now imagine me, no contacts. What am I going to have to do? Cold call, right? So we were given the script, and before we phoned people, we were told to go down to the library and come up with a list of a street of all the different names. And then we would have to go around and drop this leaflet off. So that's not even calling them. Okay. So we would drop off this leaflet and then we would come back to the office and then ring them around. Have I lost you? Are you still there?
I'm still there. I just turned off my mic. I'm still here.
Okay. So after a while, I realized I'm not getting anywhere. I'm dropping off all these leaflets, and every time I pick up the phone, everyone's no thanks. So it wasn't even India. I was calling from UK. Get it? And the script went something like this. Good evening. My name is La. I'm calling about this leaflet. It's called this, right? Are you interested? No thanks, no thanks, no thanks, no thanks, no thanks, no thanks. 100 no's. It just went on like this. And I thought, I've had enough of this. I've wasted so much time going down the library to pick up, you start to feel like you're not getting anywhere, right? It's pretty frustrating when people say no all the time. It's not a nice feeling. I get it. I've been down to the library. I've spent
Exactly.
all my time going through this whole thing. I've photocopied this. I've gone off in the rain to drop off all these leaflets one by one through the letterbox. All my hands are red raw now. Like all my knuckles, the dogs were barking. Like I was like, oh my God, it nearly bit me. Right. And I go back to the office and now I'm ringing them one by one and then crossing no, 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 no. It's not India. Do you know what I did in the end? There's a good answer. There's a happy ending to this, by the way. So I thought to myself, I had to get a bit creative. I thought, I can't do this again. This is just too much. It's too much. I want to help people, but I don't need this kind of response. So I just picked up we in the old days we had this book. I can't remember what it was called. It was basically the A to Z of everyone who lived in the same town. Okay, it's a telephone directory. And it was like alphabetically Abbott, 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 Abbott. And these Abbotts lived in different streets. So before I was targeting one street, get it? Now I'm targeting all the Abbotts. I don't know how old they are. I don't know where they live. I don't know anything about them at all. Nothing. Right? Do you want to hear my scripts that I just came up with on the fly?
Yes.
So tell me one thing. I'd like your camera switched on, please, when I tell you this story. Is it getting late there? It must be getting quite late there. Do you need to go? Because it's gone like 12 o'clock.
It's 10:16. I can stay.
Okay, so let's wrap this up in 20 minutes, okay? And then I'll leave you my WhatsApp number. And if you want to meet again, I don't know if you're on LinkedIn or not, but I'd like to tag you if that's okay when we and run this past you and edit it, okay? So people know that we've discussed this. So I pick up the phone and I'm like,
Sure.
hello, hello, hello. I'm really sorry to call you this time of the night. Remember, it's late. Is this a convenient time to talk? So I haven't said who I am, remember? No name. I'm checking to see if they have time. Have you got a spare 2 minutes? Okay. Okay. I'm so sorry to trouble you. That's the no done. I've taken control now. Hello? Is that Mrs. Abbott? Yeah. Yeah, yeah, sure. Sorry. Sorry to trouble you this time of the evening. You must be really busy. It's dinner time. I want to ask you a really quick favor. Have you got 2 minutes? What is this about? Okay, okay, listen, I'm just going to cut to the chase. there's a boy I need to pay, and I've asked him to drop off some leaflets. I just want to make sure he's done his job. Do you know if you got it? What did the leaflet look like? Oh, okay. It's a blue and white. You probably would have chucked it in the bin. It's about, I don't know, half a meter long. It would stick out of any magazine. You don't remember if you got it? You're gonna go and check your husband. You're gonna check with your husband now? No, listen. It's okay. It's okay. If you haven't seen, I can ask someone else. Don't worry. I don't want you to trouble you any more than this. It's not a trouble. See? By this point, where have you gone? By this point, you've got their attention. Why? Tell me why that worked. Can you guess? Can you
No,
guess?
I cannot. No, I
You can't?
cannot.
People,
No.
people want to know you care. Before anyone listens to you, they want to know you care. Okay. What am I doing here? Double checking this boy has done his job before I pay him. Right. So they know that one, there's a little boy somewhere who needs to be paid. They don't want to give the wrong answer in case I don't pay him. Right. So now they're feeling responsible and they have to give me the right answer. So they're prepared. They're prepared to listen to what I have to say. Number one. Two, now they're going out of their way to check with their husband. They've asked me what it says. So they're kind of selling it to themselves. Mortgage cost reduction. What's that about? I want to know more. Tell me about it. Right. I'm like, listen, it's okay. Yeah, it said mortgage cost reduction, but it's not the kind of typical cost reduction that's going to reduce your monthly pay. But listen, I really need to find out whether this boy's dropped them off. And I don't mean to be rude. Listen, I can call you back later and we can talk about this all in more detail. But do you mind if I go and make my next call? Because I really need to pay him. Right. So what am I doing? I'm not desperate. I want to pay the boy. Get it? I'd love to talk to you. You're interested. I want you to think this through, but I need to pay the boy. This is not about you, it's about him. So now they're like, she cares. She knows what she's doing. She's driven about this. I'm interested in about knowing about this. And she's prepared to come back to me. I want her to come back. I'm invited. Get it? It's not a cold call anymore. It's more like a warm lead. That's how you go about it. And that's why talking to people on LinkedIn and becoming friends with them first has been working for you, as opposed to, hello, I'm calling from the call center. Because I was calling from the same office in UK, but it was my approach and how I said it and what I said. Get it?
Yes.
Okay.
100%.
All right. So hopefully that's kind of calmed your thought patterns about Americans and Indians, because I don't think they hate you guys. Okay. I know I've answered the phone to someone from India who's told me they're called John. My name is John. I don't take those calls because I know he's not called John. I'd rather he called himself Kish Patel, right? I might have taken his call if he was honest about his name. But when he calls himself John, he's lost me straight away. I'm not going to trust him. Trust is a big thing. And yeah, why should I listen to somebody who can't even tell me his name, who's pretending to be called something else I know he's not? Why should I listen to or even believe anything he wants to say? Get it? It's about coming across in a way that people believe what you say, right? And giving them a good enough reason to listen to you. Okay, so maybe bear those two things in mind. The next time you start thinking someone's maybe hates you or they're racist, is it something you're saying or doing, or the way we're going about it? Okay. Has that been helpful or not? I can't hear you.
Oh, yes, exactly. It's helpful. My mic was off. I was not sure about it. Yes, it's helpful.
Okay.
And the
So
approach you did, like your experience, it's amazing. Like nobody thinks like that. If I would call somebody So I would never call hundred of people, and you did this.
Mhm. Well,
And the approach you did, you not only called them, but you also invited them for the another call.
and
It's mind blowing.
do you know what happened as a result of that? One of the people I went to see gave me 11 referrals. He was so
Well,
impressed. He was so impressed with the portfolio that I put together for him. He actually wanted a pension for his wife in the end. So I went in with mortgage cost reduction to talk about this. And he was like, I bet you're going to sell me life insurance. They all come to me with something like this. So I checked it and I said, listen, I'm not going to say what you need now. I'm going to go back. I'm going to do some analysis and I'll come back with my suggestions. You don't have to take anything on. Okay. Let me find out what it is you need first. So once I understood what it was they needed, and then I gave them the best option, and I was hardly getting any commission, and he could see that. He could see the percentages of the price products that I would earn from offering this and what I could have offered him instead, right? He could see I care about them, right? It's about them, not me. He said, I'm so impressed with you. Every single person in my work, and he was a fireman, you know, the people who put out the fire engine that comes out when a building sets on fire. Because every single person in my, I don't know, whatever I work with has to see you. And they're like this because they rely on each other's, you know, it's like they're fighting a war when they go into a fire. They have to have each other's backs. So he gave me 11 referrals just off the back of that one phone call that, yeah, has this boy dropped off the leaflet? It worked. Okay. So you never know. Sometimes you have to get a little bit creative around how you are delivering your message. And yeah, I was 20 at the time when, yeah, I just wanted to let him know that I cared. But exhorters will go to any length to make people feel what they feel. And if I had to do that, that's what I did. So sometimes some people think exhorters are narcissists because they can be manipulative. But I'm not a bad manipulator because everyone won at the end. Yeah.
you're
Can't
right. Yeah,
can't hear you. Anyways, shall I drop my WhatsApp for you in the chat and then you can have my
that's
number in
great.
case, yeah, in case
Hmm.
you need to talk to me. Um, right. Or do you want to write it down? Hang on, let me see. I don't know my own number. I'm rubbish. I'm really rubbish at my own everything.
Okay, so we are on live. So can you write your number?
Yeah, I am going to have to write it down. Let me look it up first. That's my WhatsApp. So
Hmm.
I'll have to put it in chat. Okay.
Okay, let me write. Let me write it for you.
+44 7928.
Just a second. So can you speak that? Are you okay to speak your number on live call with me?
No, no. I didn't realize I was on live. Why were we on live?
I mean on record.
Yeah, yeah, but I'll cut that bit out. I'll cut that bit out.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
I'll I edit this. So good option. So reason I don't hand out my number was over COVID, I had 14,000 men messaging me on a daily basis.
Oh my God.
I couldn't cope with it. My phone was ringing off the hook. Talk about call centers, inviting people, right?
Mhm.
2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, for hi, 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 hello, what did you have for breakfast? I was like, why am I having to tell people in India what I've had for breakfast? I mean, I didn't know this was like a polite thing to do. Like that's how you talk to the sisters. I was like, what is this? Like, I've eaten my breakfast. Like, what are you? Like the food police or something? I got so frustrated with them. In the end, I created a group WhatsApp call and I put all the men in there and I said, do you want me to tell you what I've had for breakfast? Because I'm getting sick of having to report to every single one of you what I've had for breakfast. Let me just tell you all together. Recently, Mark said to me, what's happening to that WhatsApp group you created? I said, do you know what, Mark? People stopped asking me what I had for breakfast. One by one, they've all left. They've all gone now. He goes, Zara, That's your fault. You didn't look after them. I was like, maybe. But I had other priorities. I had other priorities, like to take care of my kid. Okay. I can't spend all day answering everybody. And they were just sending flowers to me in this group WhatsApp call. They weren't talking to each other. And they all wanted to come and talk to me. So nobody really got to know each other, which is why I'd rather do a workshop now and get other people to see each other face to face and meet than to have a number and say, okay, send each other flowers or send me flowers. So it didn't serve me in the end. It didn't serve me.
Mhm.
So I'm more of a group workshop type person. That seems to work for me. So yeah, they've all
Mhm.
got. So yeah, have you ever asked anybody what they had for breakfast?
No, never.
Never. So is this a guy thing? Is it only the guys that do it?
Exactly, guys do this, but nobody did this with me.
Why? Why were they asking me what I had for breakfast?
I don't know. Maybe they thought like, we can talk to her. She's a cool lady.
So you go up to a married woman in the street who looks cool and you say, "What did you have for breakfast?" Is that what goes on in India?
Maybe they don't see you.
Oh, don't even ask. Don't even ask. Are you for real? This is just how it first started out. Are you for real? I don't believe you're 50. I don't believe you're this age. Are you married? Send me a picture of your husband. I want to see. Are you really a mum? I don't believe it. How no, send me a picture of you 10 years ago, 20 years ago. How come you never age? I was just like, for goodness sake, there's my Facebook. Off you go. Like, leave me alone. Stop asking for my pictures. Why do I have to prove how old I am? Well, my mum's this year's old and she looks ragged now. How come you look so fresh? I'm like, oh, for goodness sake. I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe I'm not that stressed. But, the weird questions that came at me were no one's business. It was a very lonely time. It was a very, very lonely time. That's why I didn't want my number in here. That was the short and long of it. And I don't do WhatsApps like Mark does because I can't have all that back again. And I lost my eye about 2 years ago. I had a detached retina. It runs in my genes. I've had to have two operations to put it right. So I don't like being on WhatsApp very much. And I prefer to meet face to face or Zoom. And then I try and look away in case you've noticed. Whereas on WhatsApp, it's text, 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 isn't it? And you don't get a break.
Mhm.
So, anyways, listen,
Exactly.
my husband's back from work now, and it's been really, really, really lovely meeting you. I've really enjoyed it. I would love it if you
I
could.
also, it's
I would.
a really nice meeting. Nice to meet you. Nice to talk with you. And it's always a pleasure to connect with you. It's an honor for me.
Oh, bless you.
Thank you very much.
No worries. Now, if you do have time, I honestly would suggest you sit that unique factor test. You'll be amazed what you find out. And I'd love to see you on a follow up after you've sat it. Do you want me to share that link with you? It takes around 3 minutes. Yeah?
Yeah, sure. Yes,
Okay.
sure.
I'm not kidding you. I wish I had sat mine. I wouldn't have done my degree. I would not have
You
done.
live in America? You live in America?
It's in a, sorry, no, Flow says intangible driver is the test. This is a guy in America, John Lenhart, which I met by accident on my first round on LinkedIn. A guy called Swarup Roy from India introduced me to him. Okay. And he said, Zara, you need to talk to John, right? And he said to me,
Okay.
you're going to be world class one day. I was like, oh, okay, whatever. I don't know what world class means. I did talk
Okay,
to.
I'm saving this text on your chat because I am not good in saving things. So
Yeah.
in case I missed it, so I would have
Flo
that
says,
in your chat.
Flo says intangible driver. You can always Google it. And if you don't mind putting my name down, because John checks to see like who's come in through whom, like who introduced whom,
Mhm.
so that if he needs to talk to whatever about you or me or whatever, he knows who the contact is. And then there's a course following on that's might be quite expensive for you, but I've been trained on it. So if you have any questions, you can come to me. It costs around $300. Now, I'm not expecting you to do it, but what John said is if anybody follows up and takes on the course, right? He's going to cut me 10%. So I'm going to be straight up with you. There's a Truth 2020 YouTube channels, which I can also share with you. That's free, but it takes a long time to get through it. If you have any questions, I can guide you through this whole thing slowly, slowly. And it's all about the two modules that are missing in psychology. And I'm sure with what you want to do, you can help a lot of people. So I'm quite happy to train you in it. Okay.
Sure.
All right.
Lovely to connect with you. Thank
All right.
you. Bye.
Take care. Bye. Bye.